It's Wednesday. It's 2:15. You know what that means. It's time for Liquidate All Assets, brought to you by the BetQL Network, betqlnetwork.com. Dan Dibley, Daryl the Guru Johnson. Goo, episode 20, buddy. This episode's almost old enough to drink.
Yeah, and I got to give shout out the Oklahoma State legend, Barry Sanders. How about that? The Hall of Famer.
I was wondering where you'd go with number 20. Actually, number 20 was the first ever number I wore when I made the A team in basketball.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, my brother Doug, shout out the Unibrother. He wore number 20 for St. Rita's, and I was on the B team every year. And then 8th grade, I finally made the A team, and so I asked for number 20 in honor of my brother.
Okay, I got to say this. The late, great, good friend of mine, Frank Gibson, he was the bully of the school at Alvarado Middle School, but we play football at lunch, and he dubbed me the great Billy Sims, number 20, before Barry. So we got along good. So RIP Frank Gibson. I'm ready, Dip. Let's do it.
I love it. We got plenty to talk about. We're going to look back for a minute and pat myself on the back for the Fortinet Championship, the Max Homa winner that we gave you. Goo gave out winners, but also Week 3 in the NFL. Guru's got a couple of picks. NCAA college football. Goo's got some choices. I've got one or two. We got Major League Baseball pennant races. We've got Ben Simmons future destination odds. We've got Ryder Cup, which is the big golf event, USA up against Europe, and of course, English Premier League as well. Goo, we got plenty to talk about this week on Liquidate All Assets.
Yeah, forget KSC. We got the chicken right here. We can help you with the chicken. Yeah,
I love it. Maybe we could do Mount Chicken more later. I don't know if Churches makes it in or KFC, but it is Liquidate All Assets, brought to you by the BetQL Network, now available nationwide on the Odyssey mobile app and website, over 10,000 homes, auto-connected devices, and at betqlnetwork.com. Betting angles throughout the day, insights from local and national experts like us, entertaining content to keep both casual and hardcore bettors engaged. Get sports betting tips from the best in the game. BetQL Network, streaming now on Odyssey. Goo, we like to give the people a free one straight off the top. Talk to me about tonight, Major League Baseball. What do you got in baseball on a Wednesday night?
I got pennant race baseball. It's our San Francisco Gigantes, as I like to call them, taking on the San Diego Padres. Now there's a twist. 2 pitchers with ERAs over 6. So to me, that means spells over, O-V-E-R, with Casimir going. I believe this is his first start for the Giants, Dibs, and he hasn't been in this position, but the ERA tells me the Padres may score some runs. Going up against Velasquez from the Padres, his ERA ballooned up in the 6s. So the play is minus 110, 9.5. 10 runs will be scored tonight. Padres, Giants. There's your free winner. You're welcome.
I love it. It's a hot time in the Old Town, San Diego. I don't know if you've been. Old Town, always a fun place to stop over in case you're traveling down to San Diego. I'm going to give you one as well, Goo, because it's what we do here on Liquidate All Assets. And I'm going to give you the Yankees, as we like to say, Tiny Guru Tips. I think the Yankees will win again. It's Corey Kluber going up against Taylor Hearn of the Rangers in the Bronx. The Yankees need a win. We're going to go on the run line, minus 1.5, minus 140. We're taking the Yankees. The Yankees, Boston, and Toronto, they're all in a spot where they need to win. And, Texas is already kind of mailing it in. So we're going to go ahead and give you the Yankees. Shout out everyone on the StreamYard and, of course, the YouTube page at 957 The Game. Camus says, thank you, Dibs, for hitting a homer with the Homa pick. Use the winnings to play around to golf with John Sterling and Steiny. Yeah, Camus, one of our great loyal listeners, as is Robert Freeman, and Werun SF has chimed in, Ernie Chavez, so many great listeners. And yes, Ernie, we will have some Tannehill thoughts as we get through it. But Goo, as you look at the NFL slate, it's always important that we get to the big games, and we'll start coming up with tomorrow's game. Carolina taking on the Houston Texans. The Texans now going to a backup quarterback. This is a battle of teams who are really struggling. Carolina giving 8 at Houston. What do you think about this Thursday night game?
I think it's going to be a blowout, and I think it's a Carolina blowout. And the fact that Houston's starting a rookie quarterback with Cal ties, correct? If I'm correct, Dibs. He'll be
Stanford.
Stanford. Excuse me, California ties. He'll be getting to his first start. I don't like it, and I think the Panthers. It's not pretty, Dibs, but I think they're improved, and I think they get this one. The fact that Deshaun Watson, we know he's got all kind of things going. He's in uniform, but not an option. That just takes the wind out of the Texans' sail. I know it's 8. Some run from that, Steve Young, but at the end of the day, I think this will be a 14 to 17-point win for the Carolina Panthers and Mr. McCaffrey.
I like that. And, when you look at it for a guy who has McCaffrey in his fantasy team, I'm hoping that, Carolina's able to establish themselves and get rolling. One of the trends I usually look at is Thursday night among bad teams. And, Carolina's not a great team. The Houston Texans, not a great team either. I like to look at the total and play the under, but I'll tell you, Goo, I'm a little frightened by this one. It's at 43, but I'm going to hold my nose and I'm going to ride the trend. I'm going to go under 43, Carolina and Houston. I found that a lot of times teams on a short week, as we like to call it, both these teams played Sunday. They're both coming off a short week. Houston's got a backup quarterback. Carolina's not very good. I think that this is going to be a 20-17. It might even be one of those classic 18-15 kind of ugly games. Not a defensive slugfest, but an offensive ugh fest.
I see what you did there. Yeah, and I love it. And you might be right, even though I'm taking the Panthers, Dibs, but I'll say this, pat myself on the back. Last week at Fresno State and UCLA, I took the over. Sometimes when you get the chemistry of the two teams in the uniform, you're like, a lot of points. But in this game, I can see how you go the other way. So one of us will be right, one of us will be wrong, like the Steeler game last week.
Yeah, I think actually we both can be right because this game might end up being 28-3. And I think you're right about Carolina winning the game. I actually like the Panthers to win, and I just don't have faith in the Houston offense. But at the same time, the 8, you mentioned it, Steve Young, I run from it. I give you 4 crides for it. I'm a little scared of the 8. And, we're an SF chiming in saying the over is 6-0 on primetime games.
Wow.
That's a great trend.
Love the nugget.
And that's why I'm even more excited to go the other way, because the over's not going to be perfect on the year. And these are two teams that don't have great offenses, and the Texans are onto a backup quarterback already. Yeah. So I feel like touchdowns will be hard to come by. That's why I'm going on the under.
Yeah, I can't wait. And the beautiful thing about this and our podcast, Dibs, that we got action starting tomorrow all the way through Sunday, baby.
I love it. That's a Thursday pick for you. And now let's turn our attention in the National Football League to the big games on Sunday, Goo, because we don't have to go in chronological order. We'll get back to Saturday.
All right.
And we got NCAA picks to give out. I, of course, gave you last week. I gave you Iowa State and a slam dunk over UNLV, the worst team in all of Division I. That was an easy cover for Iowa State in a bounce back spot. So we'll give you some college picks as we go. But talk to me, Goo, about your boys, the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a big one against Philadelphia. What do you see?
I think it's going to be a blowout. And, I'm not being a homer. I'm just shocked at what Dan Quinn has done with this defense. You look at the stats, it's not sexy, but they lead the league in takeaways. So that's the biggest stat. That can change and win games, Dibs. And we saw him basically should have beat Tom Brady, couldn't hold him. But we saw him go to SoFi and go toe-to-toe with the Chargers. They got that W. They come home now for their opener. And I just think Jerry John – hey, Dibley, I'm listening to your podcast. I just think the tide's turning in Dallas, and this will be the stage for them to take care of the Eagles going away. I'm predicting Dallas to win this by 13 points, something like 41-28, Dibs. Man. And I'm going Dallas. I mean that. They're improved, and their offense, it's a top 5 offense right now through 2 games.
Yeah, I like that. Philadelphia, very physical defense, but, coming off a tough game against San Francisco. And that, of course, is the Monday night game. So that certainly will be one to watch. Robert Freeman weighing in with a Backdoor cover on Houston, Carolina.
Oh, Uncle Backdoor. He always shows up, man.
Yeah, and that's where the 8 is. The 8's got me, feeling a little bit uncertain, because if it's 24-13 and you get that late touchdown, 24-20, your final, there's your backdoor cover. And that's where, especially with a rookie quarterback, maybe young Mills out of Stanford figures it out as he goes. And then, he gets into a spot where maybe he can make something happen. This is Liquidate All Assets with Dibs and Guru, brought to you by the BetQL Network, betqlnetwork.com. Goo, do you have any games on Sunday? We're going to get to the Sunday night game in just a moment, but do you have a play for me on Sunday in the regular card?
Yes, I do. And it starts with the San Francisco 49ers. I feel like the offense they could be more productive. I know it was only 17 on the road in Philly, but it was 41 a week before in Detroit. I really think something's going on with the Packers defense. They are Swiss cheese, no pun intended. So I think we're going to see Jimmy Garoppolo, Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and the second-year wide receiver Brandon Ayuk cause havoc. I am worried about the Niners running back situation, but at the end of the day, that O-line is still there and intact. There'll be holes that you and I can get through. So I'm taking the Niners, and I'm surprised that this line is low. Tell me what you're seeing or what you saw. I hope it's not and I did win, the Packer-Detroit game, because the Packers were losing to the lowly Lions at half. I haven't forgot that, and I think the Niners will exploit Green Bay, and this will be a Niner blowout. I'm going 30-17.
Wow. Okay, that's the official Guru pick, Niners and Packers. I think it'll be a little bit closer, but I'm also going to favor the Niners in this one. I think the Packers will score more than 17 points. Alex Rodriguez. A-Rod. I got locked up on A-Rod. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers coming back to the Bay Area. He usually plays well here, not counting the NFC Championship game where they got just overwhelmed. I think the Niners have enough questions still in the secondary. The Packers will be able to score, but I like the Niners, much more of a 31-24 kind of ball game. So I will take the Niners and give the 3.5 as well. Reaper Wood disagreeing. He thinks it's going to be Green Bay all day, baby. And, sometimes, that if it's a 3-point game, then the Packers cover because you get 3 in the hook.
Yeah, and I'll say this, speaking of 3 in the hook, I had Kansas City, who had an 11-point last Sunday night, fourth quarter lead. I really was going to put the kids to bed. I really thought it was done. So I don't think that highly. I don't think the Packers are where the Ravens were, desperate. And the fact that Lamar had never beaten Mahomes head-to-head and Andy Reid got conservative, I just don't see Green Bay being able to run the ball against this Niner front. And I think that side of the ball is going to keep Aaron Rodgers at bay like New Orleans did. And that's why I don't want to say easy dibs, but I would liquidate all assets. And that's putting everything down on the Niners to win by a touchdown or more.
Yeah, Reaper Woods got it 38-26 Green Bay. And if it goes that way, then the defensive line, Nick Bosa in particular, did not have a great day getting to the quarterback. Angel C _116 also liking them Green Bay Packers. So it's actually 3.5, Angel. So you get the hook as well. Goo, I'm going to give you one from Sunday. Okay. And this one is one of those slap me twice to make sure I'm not still sleeping, because I cannot believe. Okay. Thank you. Double up. I can't believe. Yeah. Thank you. The number is this low. The Patriots are favored by 3 at home against the New Orleans Saints. And I know the Patriots are still working their way through their rookie quarterback. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes, and they have a good defense. And Jameis Winston, shout out Red Hot Chili Peppers, he will give it away, Goo. And the number is only 3. I'm taking the Patriots. I'm giving 3 to New Orleans in Foxborough.
You know what? This may be the most difficult game this week. And the reason being is Jameis went from the penthouse to the outhouse. He went to Lambeau or wherever their home was that day. I forget, Florida, Jacksonville. And he looked like, oh my gosh, Sean Payton is the best thing to ever happen to him. And they look legitimate. And then what happened last Sunday? They wet the bed. He looked bad, 2 interceptions. And then I look at how the youngster, Mac Jones, who we thought was going to be the Niner quarterback, how he struggled week 1, and then just took it to the Jets. So I think of Sean Payton, and then I think of the hoodie, and I get why it's 3. But Dibs, I got to tell you, I think Jameis is going to be able to do something against that Patriot defense, because if they don't, then that's 8 quarters of bad, inept offensive football, and that doesn't bode well for Jameis. So I'm going to take the Patriots in the points. Excuse me, the Saints in the points.
Oh, we're going head-to-head. That's crazy. And I think it's because you love Jameis Winston, and I, sports, hate Jameis Winston. I think he's a bum. I think he's 2 interceptions before he gets off the bus, and you can't give the ball to Belichick multiple times. And VA agrees with me. Easy money with the Pats. He's weighing in. So we'll see. I love when we go head-to-head, Goo. It's mano y mano, baby.
And the Raiders, the Raiders, I got you on that one because you took the Big Ben, who's old, the old maid right now. He may not play. And I took the Raiders and Derek Carr, so, I had to bring that up and throw it in your face.
No, I love that. And, that is under the file of you can't win them all. And thank you, Angel. I don't trust Winston either. I'm going to give you one more, Goo, from the NFL before we pivot, and we'll talk a little college football, a little Saturday action. Indianapolis is at Tennessee, and I think the Titans are largely broken. Ryan Tannehill, he was the flavor of the month for about 1.5 years, but I think that he's come down to earth. And if you get a lead on Tennessee, they're done. They can't run the football, and that's all they do at the effective level they need to. I'm taking the Colts plus 5.5 to probably win the game, but I'm going to play a conservative, Goo. I'm going to take the 5.5 with Indy and a huge spot for the Colts.
Wow, and Carson Wentz, he didn't look bad, but he didn't exactly light the world on fire last weekend. He's got some injury issues. What's new? But I look at that game, Dibs, and I'm going to give you credit because I'm going to stay away from it. I'm going to go Halloween, haunted house. I'm scared of it because I don't know if Tennessee has woken up from that week 1. They wet the bed, but they came back against a good Seattle team, what I deem a good Seattle team, and I think that's the spark they needed. And I think they win this game.
I love it. And Carson Wentz, of course, with injury concerns, may not go. I think that the Colts motivated. Yeah, Angel, it looks like he probably won't play. But I like the Colts overall versus a Titans team that, you give me 5.5. I don't believe in Tennessee. I think Tennessee is past its prime. But we'll see, Goo. You're staying away. I'm going on Indy, and we'll see who comes out on top. This is Liquidate All Assets, brought to you by the BetQL Network, betqlnetwork.com, and streaming now on Odyssey as well. Let's talk college football, Goo, a place where you and I have been giving out winners like Halloween candy.
Love it.
I know Fresno State and UNLV, you're trying to get on my Running Rebels lean. What do you like about the Bulldogs and UNLV? The spread, 30.5.
Yeah, and I haven't bet a spread this big since Alabama and Mercer, which you won because you took Mercer and the plus Steph Curry, which was 30. But this one I really feel good about. UNLV, they're just hapless. And right now, Dibs, they don't have a sign of life. They can't protect the quarterback. 3 games, they got 4 sacks. So Fresno State's going to be able to do whatever they want. And we saw what they did last week, Fresno State. Almost put up 50 points. So I'm going with Fresno State in a blowout. And, the Raiders in Vegas have the Raiders, but they don't got the Running Rebels football program. So I'm taking 30.5. That tells you what I think. And you got to give me this, Dibs. The Bulldogs, Lorenzo Neal's hometown, they put up points. They run and gun, and that's what I think is going to happen. I could see something like 51-10. How about that, Dibs?
I like it, and I think UNLV would be lucky to get 10 points because, as I mentioned last week, they are arguably the worst college football team in America. If they're not the worst, they're certainly among the worst. Iowa State beat them 48-3, and UNLV was coming off a loss against Eastern Washington as well. So I think that's a pretty safe bet. I'm going to give you one, Goo, because it's what we do, and it's a team we saw crush that UNLV squad last week. I don't believe we're going to be looking at a letdown scenario for Iowa State. So we're going to take Iowa State and give 7 at Baylor. Now you say, whoa, Dibs, that's pretty bold. Baylor's 3-0.
Yeah.
Well, Baylor beat Texas State, Texas Southern, and Kansas. It's
Wow.
the weak schedule.
Yeah.
Baylor beat Kansas 45-7. They beat Texas Southern 66-7. Iowa State, a team that can play defense better than what Baylor has seen. Iowa State is going to beat Baylor by 2 touchdowns. We're taking the Cyclones -7 at Baylor.
You know what? I like that. And I like that intel too, because I know it's college and the strength of schedule, but they played some cupcakes. Shout out Hostess. They played some cupcakes. So I get that, Dibs. I like it. Iowa State.
What else you got for us in college, Goo? I know you're
going to love this. I always brag about my good friend. He's my Steiny to you. 49er Frank. He introduced me to gambling. First time I ever went to Bay Meadows in 1987. I had some luck. Taught me how to play the ponies. But like the bad baseball teams in MLB, we've been going with Oklahoma State at home. And Oklahoma State this week has Kansas State, who is 0-5, Dibs, in their last 5 games against the Big 12. And Oklahoma State, I just like their offense. I like what they do. And right now it's -6.5. I think they cover at home against K-State, Dibs. And Kansas State 8-4 against the 3-4 against the spread in their last 7 games. So all that to me equals Oklahoma State with the easy victory. So that's my liquidate all assets in the college ranks this weekend.
I like it, Goo, and I'm going to go ahead and liquidate on my own, and it's going to be the last kickoff among top 25 teams on Saturday, and it's a team that is really trying to make a mark on the committee and make its mark on college football in general. It's the Oregon Ducks, Goo, at 3-0.
Yeah.
They are hosting Arizona up at Autzen Stadium. The spread is 28.5. Arizona is terrible. Arizona was unable to beat Northern Arizona.
Oh, my goodness.
They're ducking Grand Canyon. They might be the worst team in Arizona. They certainly don't want to play the Cardinals. They have to go up on the road and take on an Oregon team in front of a rabid fan base and a team that really needs to make a statement to make sure that they can make it in high seeded in the college football playoff. We're taking Oregon -28.5 at home against Arizona.
I'll be watching that, and I assume that's late night, Divs. That's a late night tilt. I'll be watching that, and you're right. If you lose to Northern Arizona, where's the pride from Arizona? That doesn't bode well, so we may see a blowout.
I think we will, and Champ Ross chiming in saying UConn can't score against Logan's varsity football team. He said UConn, so he says UConn is the worst team in college football, so maybe we start making a habit out of fading UConn, Goo.
We'll do that. Hey, that's called the trend. We'll do that next week, baby.
Yeah, so there's your college picks. We got a couple on the board, certainly, and we're ready to go. Goo, we got so much action coming up this weekend. Are you interested in the Ryder Cup?
I'm interested in everything we do, and the fact that I was at my son's AAU tournament. One of the fathers, Chin, comes next to me. We're sitting down watching the game. He goes, Homer won. And I jumped up like I made the pick, but it's on our podcast, ROUR. And my man picked it. I go, oh, he's going to love this. So I'm excited about the Ryder Cup. What you got? I
love it. And shout out Champ Ross for the 3 money bags. Yes, I made people money. If you wanted to bet Homa for the top 10, it was
6-1.
It was 5-1 for top 10. It was 66-1 to win it. And when the regular events come back next week, we always give you 3 picks. 3 picks to win, 3 picks for the top 10, and you can pick and choose as you see fit. And up in a couple of minutes, Goo, I want to ask you about Ben Simmons, but first, Ryder Cup props.
Okay.
Now it's America versus Europe. So the overall spread is USA -225. Europe is +180. So if you think the U.S. is going to win it, and the USA has won, I think 14 of 17 times at home.
Okay.
Something like 17 of 21 maybe. The home team usually wins, but you'd have to lay 225 to pick the Americans.
And where is this one? Who's home this one?
It's in Wisconsin, up in Whistling Straits.
All right, gotcha. So I know who's home. Yeah, got it.
Now, if you want to give the USA -2.5 points because they play the best of 28 matches. So, you play, there's 8 points on Friday, there's 8 points on Saturday, and then there's 12 points on Sunday. Grand
Okay,
total
awesome.
of 28 available points. Now, if you tie a match, it's a half point, this and that. The margin's usually pretty close, 1 or 2. So we're going to go ahead and take the USA minus 2.5 points, hoping that they win by 3, and that's plus 115.
Love it. My question to you, Dan Dibley, and for the people out there, when does this start?
It starts Friday.
Okay.
There's a morning round and an afternoon round, and all 12 guys don't play every round, which is kind of cool.
Didn't know that.
So there's some coaching involved. So in the morning on Friday, 8 guys will play. In Friday afternoon, 8 guys will play. Saturday, same thing. 8 in the morning, 8 in the afternoon. Now, Tiger would play usually all 5 rounds because there's 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, and on Sunday, everybody plays. It's my 12 against your 12. It's called singles. So it really comes down a lot to Sunday, and I like the U.S. lineup. We got a lot of rookies on our team, but I like the depth of the U.S. squad.
Okay, I'm ready, and I'm going to place that, and I can catch that. I'm sure it'll be aired on TV, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'll be on NBC traditionally, maybe Golf Channel early, NBC after that. Now, we're also going to bet some props, Goo.
Give it to me.
Top point scorer overall is the prop we're looking at. Now, again, you're looking for a guy who's going to play all 5 rounds, and you're looking for a guy who is likely to win his matches very often. And because of that, we're going to go plus 1,200 on Patrick Cantlay. Cantlay. We've talked about Cantlay before.
We have.
We gave you Cantlay when he won the Tour Championship. I think Patrick Cantlay is the kind of consistent player and a resolute player. He's going to play in all 5. He'll play in at least 4 of the 5.
Okay.
And if he wins his matches, he could be the top scorer. So we're going to go with Patrick Cantlay
plus
1,200.
All right. And then I got to ask this, Dibs, and the fans probably are too. What about our guy Homa? Is he taking away? He's not in this event.
Yeah, he didn't make it in. It's only the top 12 Americans, and they take the top 6 guys on points, and then the captain picks 6. But if Max Homa continues to play like he has a good chance of being on the team in 2023.
Okay, gotcha. So he's definitely striving to be a part of this.
Without a doubt. It's every player's dream to represent your country in the ultimate team event.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah. Goo, let's talk about Ben Simmons, and then I'll give out some English Premier League picks.
All right, I'm ready.
We'll wrap it up. Ben Simmons, next team odds. This, and thanks to E-Dog, Evan Giddings, our great producer.
Love him.
E-Dog came up with these numbers from BetGM. Who do you think the favorite is, Goo, to be Ben Simmons' next team?
Okay, the fact that you set it up like that is not going to be the answer that I want to say that's in the heart, because I think he's going back to Philly. But if he has now said it doesn't have to be a California team, I'm going with the Atlanta Hawks.
Man, that's a great guess, and what a spot that would be for Ben. But Atlanta actually not on the board. The favorite right now, plus 400, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Ooh, I'm not mad. Wow.
Yeah,
I
Robert Freeman, I could see Simmons in San Antonio, and maybe Pop could fix him. San Antonio, by the way, plus 800 is the 4th choice on the board. The Golden State Warriors and Toronto Raptors also plus 800.
The Warriors, we heard Joe Lacob. He made sense on why he didn't think, not just the cost, the price tag, but I just don't like the fit. I'm going to say this, Dibs, and I think Mock Rivers on our show, I think he laid the groundwork for him reaching back out to Ben. I honestly believe the line is not around the corner. And you say, why do you feel that way? It's just my gut feeling. It's what he's bringing, the lack and lost confidence. I think he goes back to Philly. Training camp is upon us, Dibs. Do you find it strange that he has no new team as of yet? Or that's just, since we've been talking golf, par for the course?
Well played. It is. I'll give you 4 for par for the course. I think it is par for the course. And man, I wish I could talk to Mock Rivers and ask him what he really thought of Ben Simmons. I mean, I know you know Mock pretty well. Is there a chance that I could ask him a question about Ben Simmons?
Well, Dan, look, we love Ben, and everything's just been overblown. We'll take Ben back if Ben Come back. We'll take you back. That's my Mark Rivers.
That's a solid 4 for your Mark Rivers.
I've got a 2, but I'll take
No,
it.
I loved it. That's you were pressed into duty. By the way, the Houston Rockets, Daryl Morey's former team, plus 450. If I was a betting man, and you know I am, I would bet Houston. Morey's got a relationship there, and they've got the picks.
Well,
I think
he want to win. If he goes there, Dibs, he's not playing for anything meaningful. Or do you think he wants to get out of town that bad? It don't matter. Just give me a new locale.
He needs a new locale, and by the way, he doesn't have a no-trade clause, so he goes.
Yeah,
he goes where they send him. That's ultimately, that's ultimately the way that goes, Goo.
That's big. I didn't know that. So he doesn't have leverage like I thought.
Yeah, very few players do have that no-trade clause in the National Basketball Association.
There you go.
As we go, Goo, can I give you some soccer picks before we dip?
Football. I got my pen, baby.
I love it. We've got the English Premier League coming up, and the big game Saturday morning. Manchester City is at Chelsea, Stamford Bridge. Chelsea's having an unbelievable year. Manchester City, the most expensive team in all of English football. Ooh. We're going to play the draw, Goo. We're going to play the draw.
That's a plus, right? That's got that plus symbol. I know.
229. We're playing the draw on the three-way line. This feels like a 1-1 kind of game. Chelsea's been very good. They've got a solid defense. Manchester City will score. It's hard to hold Man City down. So we're going to go ahead and play the draw there. The over-under is 2, which tells you that the expectation is for a 1-1 game. Yeah. We're playing for the 1-1 draw, Chelsea and Manchester City.
I like it, Dibs. I like that. The plus 229. I'm gonna get busy.
Yeah, it should be a good one, and it's a situation where Chelsea at home you give a slight edge to, but Man City, a team that fancies itself as a championship contender, it's going to be a real heavyweight fight, and I think the best price is on the draw.
I can't wait. Wake up Saturday and get down.
Also Saturday, it's a little bit later in the day. It's actually the featured game. It's at 12:30. Liverpool is at Brentford. Brentford was one of the teams that got promoted into the Premier League, but this to me feels like a not ready for primetime spot. Even though Brentford is at home, Liverpool is a high-quality side, and you only have to give 1 goal. Liverpool -1 is -117. We're going to take Liverpool. We're going to give the goal. We're going to hope for a 2-0 or a 3-1. 1-0 we lose. No, 1-0 would be a push. I apologize. Okay. 2-0's a win. I think 2-0 feels about right. Brentford's been great early, but Liverpool is next level. We're taking Liverpool -1.
Dibs. And I know in baseball or like the NBA, if you do the over-unders and the spreads, it won't let you parlay it sometimes because it don't like it or it don't match. Am I able to take these 2 suggestions and parlay it because they sound great?
You can parlay game to game. Yeah, it's just when you try to parlay a game to a total inside the same pick, sometimes it doesn't like that. I think you're right with there. One more, Goo. We're going to play Tottenham plus a half a goal. It's a 2-way line like we talked about. Okay. It's a pick / plus a half. They're at Arsenal, the Etihad. Is that the Etihad? No, the Emirates. I apologize. Okay, the Emirates. We're going to take Tottenham. Yeah. We're taking, even though Tottenham won't have Heung-min Son available, most likely, Tottenham is going to play this game most likely to a draw. So we want the half a goal. So we're going to take it with a pick / a half a goal. It's -105, hoping that Tottenham finds a way to get over Mikel Arteta and Arsenal.
I love it, Dibs. Great intel. Let's get after it.
I love it. So we got the draw in Chelsea.
Yep.
We've got Liverpool -1.
-1.
And we're taking Tottenham in the half a goal, Goo.
Yeah, let's get that chicken, Dibs. I'm ready.
I love it. We got bets all over the board. I can't wait.
All right. See you next week.
My man.